Assalamu alaikum, I'm Salma Kazi Wahab and welcome to Africa Travel Indaba 2026. Joining me today is none other than Ahmed Sidat giving me company. Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
Very well, alhamdulillah. We're excited to bring to you, the viewers of Hilaal TV, live on the ground footage from the Africa Travel Indaba. Things are underway, it's exciting. What did it feel like walking through these aisles already?
Absolutely magical, seeing all the possible tourism that's happening here and all the different stores. It's absolutely magnificent and great for Africa's travel industry.
Absolutely great. We're going to take to the floor, bringing you inside information from the latest here, especially showing the spotlight, shining the spotlight on African tourism right here on top of a new hotels and resorts. We're going to explore the ground and introduce you to all the wonderful exhibitors and delegates that are part of this year's Africa Travel Indaba.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to you all. We are here with Alan from A New Hotels and Resorts. Alan, how are you today?
Fantastic. Always excited to be at Indaba. Very exciting year this year, and yeah, a lot of positivity and a lot of energy. So excited to see what the next day or two brings. Yesterday was a busy day, lots of visitors, and we're hoping that we can build on both the relationships with clients but also partners as we sort of seek to put South Africa on the map this year.
That's great to hear. How do you measure success in this travel Indaba?
Sure, it's a tricky one. I mean, so much of it is relationships, so much of it is connections, and so much of it is laying seeds that, will return something later on. So I think definitely the amount of meetings, the amount of connections we make, but the meaningful engagements as well, the conversations that will start here but continue for years and years to come.
I see you have an excellent stand here. What has been the best thing for you so far in this travel Indaba?
I think it was quite magical to have the president here and lending his voice to the tourism industry. I think, South Africa is such an incredible product, and tourism in South Africa represents such an incredible opportunity as a commercial driver for us. So, yeah, that would be the highlight for me. Having President Cyril Ramaphosa here was fantastic. We'd like to have him here every year. But really important that he's adding to the conversation and just raising the profile of the event.
That's great to hear. Alan, it was great chatting with you, and I wish you all the best in this Africa's Travel Indaba.
Thank you. Always great chatting with you.
One of my favorite things of the Africa Travel Indaba this year is the amount of safaris and game lodges that we are learning about. Not the typical ones in areas lesser known. A message strongly emphasized by the President in his address yesterday that we want to show the world where South Africa's beauty truly lies. The areas that are less visited, the smaller areas, the towns, the areas that need more attention and notice. And one of them is the Eastern Cape that is drawing a crowd here at their stand, the Wild Eastern Cape. And joining me is Anthony Mulligan. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And I love the fact that you say you're an amalgamation or collaboration of different brands, different lodges and safaris. Tell us a little bit about coming together and the different brands that have come together today.
So about 10 years ago, we discussed the concept of collaborating to come to Indaba and shows like Indaba to promote the Eastern Cape. Foot traffic into the Eastern Cape is the most important thing, because without the foot traffic, there's nothing selling our properties. So it's been 10 years in the making. 10 years ago is when the discussion started, and then fruition came together this year. So we're very excited. So we promote the Eastern Cape from sea to wildlife. So from Algoa Bay behind us over here, so they're doing like sardine runs, whale watching, all of that. And then from there, as you make your way up the coast from Ngabeka, it's all of the properties after that. So yeah, we're very excited about having everybody at one stand to promote the Eastern Cape. Yeah.
We think it's so important, and that message came across strongly in official opening and all your keynote addresses, that many people just associate South Africa tourism with certain parts of the country. How important it is, you think, to put Eastern Cape on the map and the areas that you're mentioning? Have you heard perhaps any misconceptions from people when they visited your stand, or what do you feel is important for people to know about the Eastern Cape?
Yeah, I think obviously there's the well-established parts of South Africa which game reserves are well known for. Obviously, Kruger Park has a massive name for it, and all the areas around there. But for us in the Eastern Cape, I think last year was a big transition for us. The Eastern Cape hosted Safari Guide of the Year last year, and then people's eyes opened and realized there's so much more to the Eastern Cape. We've been building on this for a long time. I mean, a reserve like Kareka Game Reserve has been around for 37 years. Most people didn't even know that. So it's important for us to make sure that they understand there's a lot out there. And like we say, from sea to wildlife, there's so much to offer in the Eastern Cape. And I think people have this misconception because they think it's quite logistically quite difficult, but it's not. Everything's quite accessible. We have an international airport in Ngabeka. So you can fly in there, and then most of these places are accessible within an hour. So really amazing, yeah.
Fantastic. What would be the key takeaway if we were to really say what would people be coming to the Eastern Cape for? Your top 5 things, if you could ever list them.
Sure. So I think it's a true adventurer's place. So we've got trails on the beach and sea. Like I said, we've got whale watching and sardine run. We've got game reserves. And then most of the game reserves are multifunctional. So you've got water activities. So like on our game reserve, we've got 2 rivers, tidal rivers. So we do boating activity, fishing, walking, safari. And then there's so much culture in the Eastern Cape. And a lot of community development. So we promote the community tours. We promote a lot of cultural tours. So it's a bit of everything in the Eastern Cape, to be honest.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the time and all the best for the rest of the event.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. We are here at the Africa's Travel Indaba 2026. Right now speaking to me is Garnet from Capital Hotels and Resorts. How are you, Garnet?
I'm very well, thank you, Ahmed.
Good. Tell me now, at Africa's Travel Indaba 2026, what does it mean for Capital Hotels and Resorts to be here, and what opportunities are you willing to achieve from this exhibition?
So the Africa Travel Indaba it's an annual thing, and it's probably one of the highlights of the South African hospitality, event space during the year. It's an area where we connect with our hospitality peers. We meet with our international operators and tour operators and our local business supporters that come through our hotel group, during the year. It's an environment where you meet potential opportunities, you find out about new things that's happening in the industry, you listen to great opportunities that might come around, and it's just a way of people connected in our industry. It's a very sort of well appreciated exhibition. It's a show that we have international travelers from all over the world that come and attend this, and it's great to really catch up and see what the future holds for the next year.
Perfect. Speaking about highlights, what has your highlight been of this Africa's Travel Indaba?
Well, so far, like I've just said, you meet with the guys that you haven't seen for a while. You understand what is happening in the market. You understand what is happening around the world right now with the current, situation in the Middle East. I think it's something which everybody talks about and everybody, discusses about. We always see the negative side of it, but in our industry, we can't just dwell on the negative. We have to find ways to make this industry work. We've got to bring people to this beautiful country of ours. South Africa is still one of, I believe, a destination that people have to visit. They have to see it. It is an unbelievable, country from Cape Town right up to the Kruger. I mean, it's an exceptional, country to experience. And that's why people are here. They're here to see our hospitality, opportunities. They're here to see what we have to offer, and to connect with people that we will try and create business opportunities with, and see how this goes for the future.
I know you're all over South Africa with hotels and resorts and apartments everywhere. For a traveler that's coming to South Africa for the first time, where would be the best place for them to stay to get the best experience possible?
Well, we always talk about the WWW, waterfront, winelands, wildlife type of thing. But there's a lot between that in our beautiful country. So I would suggest if you do come to South Africa and you visit us, Cape Town has to be on your agenda. It's got to be on your itinerary. Then the winelands regions, and then you've got to make yourself, come to Johannesburg and into the Kruger and to come and see our incredible safaris and wildlife camps. I mean, we have world-class, hospitality offerings all over this country. So wherever you go, it's something to see. And a lot of people are always concerned about the safety aspect of our country. If you plan things properly, you will have the most wonderful experience.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. To close it off, what makes your brand different from other hospitality brands in this industry, and where can we find you?
Well, the obvious one is that we're national now. So we have hotels around the country: Cape Town, Johannesburg, Durban, Quebec, Bombela, which is right at the Kruger, and we're a hybrid hotel group, which means we have self-catering opportunities within our hotels. We are not an apartment block. We're a fully fledged hotel group. However, we just have different types of rooms which cater for families, large or small. It caters for your single traveler, your business traveler, your corporate traveler, your government traveler, your leisure traveler. We honestly cater for a wide spread of guests, and also people that want to cook specifically meals themselves. They can do it in their rooms, or they can enjoy our hospitality, in our restaurants or conferencing around the country.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Garnet, it was lovely speaking with you, and I wish you all the best in Africa's Travel Indaba 2026. Great to meet you. Thanks.
One of the star attractions at this year's Africa Travel Indaba is this handsome guy, this lion at Izemvelo KZN Wildlife, one of my favorite exhibits here at the Africa Travel Indaba 2026. To tell us more about it and what exactly this Indaba is about, it's exactly this: promoting conservation, promoting KZN, promoting Africa and its true authenticity with genuine and real, raw African experiences in the wild, in the rural areas, and everything we know and love, to give it the true African experience. When the tourists come in here, we want them to see Africa for what it truly is and leave feeling changed and invigorated. Siphelele, thank you so much for joining us and speaking to us. Tell us more about this amazing stand.
Good afternoon to the viewers at home. I'm so afraid you've already taken my job. You said a mouthful, but thank you so much for this opportunity. Of course, as you said, we are a world-in-one destination with something for everyone, from bush to the beach, as well as the Drakensberg, which happens to be my favorite destination because it's all about adventure. Tallest waterfall in the world, we're talking Tugela Falls. I mean, there's still an argument that it is Angel Falls, but we got the award in August 2021. So in the world, we've got the highest waterfall, which I'm so happy about. A lot of hikers do come there, especially because it's one of the most challenging and treacherous routes. But hiking is all about that. Adventure is all about that. We also have got Mike's Pass, which is our 4x4 adventure route in the Drakensberg. I cannot even explain the beauty. You have to be there yourself. It's one of our unique selling points. And very soon we're going to be reopening our Sand Rock Art Museum.
What would be your takeaway message to them, or what would you want them to remember when they come into Africa and South Africa? What should they do? How should they plan their trip? And not ask ChatGPT, but what should they do?
One of the most incredible things about Hluhluwe is that we've got a museum. The museum is situated within Hluhluwe that tells about the story of how the park started. And we've got the top 5 world travelers, your Germany, your Belgium, your France, your French market, they all come to Hluhluwe. But also, I always say, own your story as a South African. Don't let tourists tell you about your destination. And we give 30% to all government employees, which to me is more like, and in fact, we pride ourselves in saying we are a AAA destination, accessible, adventure, and affordable.
Thank you so much. You've been great to speak to you, and all the best for the rest of the Indaba.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
We're excited to be here with John Addison. We managed to catch him at a quiet time because we did pop in here earlier to talk about the wonderful safari options, and I saw gorilla and chimpanzees, and you always see it across social media. So to give us more information, to talk to us about these wonderful events and initiatives, welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're offering at this year's Indaba.
Thank you. Yeah, we operate in Uganda and Rwanda and Tanzania, and we've got camps and lodges and boats and guides, and yeah, it's quite a big operation, but it's nice. You know, we've got mainly African staff, so Tanzania and Uganda. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, it's good. It's what we do, and you know, all the people who come to Tanzania and Uganda and Rwanda, 90% of the foreigners also come to South Africa. They'll go to Cape Town, Durban, etc. So they're doing the whole of Africa. So we're just supplying them with part of it. Cape Town gets tons of foreigners who come to Cape Town, then they carry on to the rest of Africa, which is good. Yeah.
When it comes to the types of adventures and the options that you have here, and I'm looking behind you, the Nile River cruises, and you have culture, you find even recently throughout the events that have been happening in Durban and throughout the Indaba so far, they're talking about untapped experiences, untapped areas, places that we're not often seen enough or tourists aren't visiting enough. What for you do you feel is somewhat undervalued that people aren't exploring enough in Africa?
Now, personally, being a South African, Zimbabwean, whatever, I think you need to see everything when you come to Africa. You know, Victoria Falls is untapped. The Karoo, untapped. We as tour operators and promoters of the continent need to show people the Karoo, as I say. It's fantastic. We need to take people there. The west coast of South Africa is untouched and unpromoted. But that's our job, is to promote it. And yeah, not just the usual sort of Cape Town, etc., etc. And Zimbabwe's good. Zambia's good. Tanzania's good. There's so many things to see for a foreigner in Africa. So Africa is a destination in itself, as far as I'm concerned, and should be sold as that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the best for the rest of the Indaba. The exhibitors at this year's Africa Travel Indaba are totally taking our breath away, and we couldn't help but stop right here and explore Namibia. We're naturally in Namibia. We're so proudly African today, and we're joined by Tristan. Tell us so much. Tell us about this event, what it's been like for you, and putting Namibia on the map as well.
Wow, I mean, there's a little bit of goosebumps there. So obviously, this is the place where we get to meet the world, and tourism and conservation, which is what we're big about. You know, without tourism, conservation would really struggle. So for us, this is high value, and to make these connections and to be able to, you know, present our beautiful country, which we absolutely love, and represent 10 products within Namibia, and just begeister all the agents that are here. That's, you know, great value, great platform, works so well for us.
It's great to hear that. And to many people that wonder what the Africa Travel Indaba is about, how does it draw these numbers every year and such a distinguished level of delegates? You're wondering, you're looking at all the networking, and to see what's happening on the ground is crucial to South Africa, to the economy, to African continent. How important are events like this, and what actually comes out of it at the end of it?
So, you know, it's like the spot. These kind of events bring us together where the buyers have the opportunity to look at so many options, so many different products, and especially hosted in Africa, hosted in South Africa for that matter, and being able to bring up the southern part of Africa in big flags. So in that sense, it is hugely valuable. Obviously, the return is dependent on, what the offer is and, what people actually have activity-wise and accommodation-wise. And maybe it might not return within the first year of an Indaba, but the connection stays. And then suddenly that first email comes and that connection becomes like, almost a lifeline between the two, the buyer and the product, and just works fantastic. So no, highly valuable.
Amazing. A big takeaway from your stand, and tell us about the brand you're representing today and what can people get when they come to you?
Ooh, so much. Yes. So Naturally Namibia is a marketing collection. So we represent 10 products in Namibia, all different and individual and special, and they have all the elements that people in kind of modern travel are looking for, and almost demand, if I can say it like that. So in that sense, really, really fantastic products. We here sharing or collaborating a stand with Ungava, which is an incredible property in Namibia, big into conservation and research for black rhinos, which obviously is always a hot topic. So yes, all these properties offering really special activities and experiences, and Namibia, just the best. So we love it.
Love it. We love that we're learning so much about Africa as well and the continent. Thank you so much for being here, and all the best for the remainder of the event.
Thank you for the opportunity. Love it. And yes, success to all these people that are here.
We're here with Mosilo from South African Tourism here at the Airline Pavilion. Mosilo, how are you today?
I'm well, and you, Ahmed?
I'm great. Mosilo, tell us more about this airline pavilion that you'll have here and this new airlines that are coming into Bonn.
Thank you for that. As South African Tourism, we've put together the Airline Pavilion. This year, record numbers, 18 aviation stakeholders, of which we have some new airlines. One being our latest entry to the South African skies, Air Congo. But overall, the idea of the Airline Pavilion really is to show the operators playing in the African skies. And this is not limited to just domestic airlines, but African airlines. And it's all behind, the idea behind it is African connectivity. So how can we drive the connectivity issue? There is no tourism without aviation. You need to have the two connecting each other. So as such, as South African Tourism, we said, you know what, it's time we house even our carriers from across the continent, and people will get to engage with them, get to understand how you can connect from their respective countries to, for example, Algeria, Eswatini, South Africa. It's really giving people options on how to move through the African continent and creating the links therein.
That's great to hear. How has Africa's Travel Indaba 2026 assisted you all in achieving your goals for 2026 and in the future?
As South African Tourism, our whole reason of being and why we put the show together is to drive tourism arrivals. Obviously, in our case, into South Africa, but we understand that we are all stronger together as Africa. So we have record numbers in participation, and it's really helped us drive the interest. We've brought in buyers from many countries, the numbers escape me now, but from many countries across the globe to drive the interest in Africa. It's really Africa's time, and it's time we just bring everybody's awareness, interest. We have so many things shrooming across the country. We have Club Med coming in now into Durban, for example. In the coming, by July, they'll be launched. So we really want to show people that South Africa's ready for you. Africa's ready for you. And ATI 2026 has done that.
Great, that's great. Amazing to hear. I know, in our opinion, South Africa is the greatest country in Africa. But in your opinion, where would you say is the best place to be in Africa besides SA?
Oh goodness, that's a tough one. I mean, I am South African Tourism. It's my heart. It's what's really put us together. But let me say one place I would love to go, maybe not the best. I'm yet to find out. A place I haven't been to in Africa yet. Let me support a friend here. I'll make it simple. Congo. They're the newest to our skies, and I can't wait to join over and see a bit of that beautiful, beautiful nation.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. Do you have any other things to say to the viewers? Any important things?
I think to the viewers, look, it's a tough time across the globe, and it's tougher to connect to different countries. It may be more expensive because of fuel. But I do think that positions us as a continent to travel together within ourselves. Maybe we do not need to go out further now because it may be a bit harder now or the appeal might not be there. But within Africa, this is the perfect time to explore locally. So first your own local regions, connect domestically. And if you can go a little further, let's connect within Africa.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Another incredible day at Africa Travel Indaba 2026. Lots of networking, lots of mingling, wonderfully interesting conversations about putting South Africa and the African continent on the international tourist agenda, making it a priority to make sure that Africa is seen in every single way possible. Ahmed, what's your thoughts so far, and what did you find most interesting?
I've really enjoyed today. I think the best part about it was meeting everyone that was here and seeing all the different things that Africa has to offer instead of going around the world. I never even know this, but in South Africa alone, there were so many reserves that I found about and so many hotels and all the experiences that you have right on your doorstep rather than getting on a flight and going away. It was really interesting. And yeah, I've enjoyed today a lot.
I think it also comes at such a crucial time when Africa needs it the most. We need it. We need our economic boost. We need that attention, and we need the world to also see Africa in a positive light. We've heard the president's comments yesterday about changing the narratives that have so long shaped what the world thought of Africa, what the world pictured Africa, minus all the rich history and what we have to actually offer. Is there anything that got you thinking about planning your next holiday destination or what you'd like to do? What would you be most keen to explore?
I'd be most keen to explore South Africa, like get in the car and just drive around South Africa. Don't worry about getting on a plane and going to different places. I would just get on my car and drive to the next game reserve and the next one and the next one and the next one after that, because every single one of them has something different to offer and something different in store, and it's really something.
100%, and I love that because in December I did that also, a road trip, and we stopped at every single farm stall along the way, and that is an authentic South African experience. So planning your next holiday is even easier now thanks to the Africa Travel Indaba, and join us for more coverage as we head into the final day, day 4 of all that's unfolding here. This is not even the half of it. We have yet to experience the outdoor exhibition and so much more, all coming right here on Hilaal TV.